Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so excited to be here today with my co-host, the pragmatic optimist, Tina.
I'm going to get a t-shirt with that.
I just love saying that. It is so true about you. That is like the easiest way to summarize your persona. But we are here not to talk about Tina. We are here today to talk about an incredible book that I think you are going to love. It's called I Will Not Have Pun in Class, and it is written by, I see it makes you laugh already, and it is written by a brilliant fellow whose name is Timothy Smitty Smith. And so we are welcoming Tim. Hi there. How are you?
Hi, Tim. How are you?
All right. How are you all?
Great.
Doing great. Thank you so much for joining Griot Connects. Oh, gosh. I love this book, Tim. And let me tell you why.
Yes. We're excited to have you.
This book, to me, is really for people who love words. I would give it to my nieces and my nephews. I would give it to teenagers. I have a couple of young aspiring writers.
Yeah.
Who don't really, they haven't settled in really on how to use language. But that's why one of the things I love about this book is that it is an exploration of language. And so it's not a novel. It's not fiction. It's not just a story per se. But this is a summary. It's a collection of words.
It's a way to use words.
It's a way to use words.
A way to utilize words.
Right. And so we're going to talk today a little bit differently since we don't have a story to explore. But I do want to spend time talking about the power of words, about wordplay, about where these words have come from. And then let's see if we could pick this man's brain on some of the other things he has. Oh, my God. Listen.
Well, you know what? To be fair, if there's none left after doing this.
Right. That makes sense. 920 words later.
Right.
Yes.
You shouldn't have much brain left.
Probably none at all.
No, I'm running on slim pickings here.
So, Tim, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that this, I'm going to hold it up, and I don't do this all the time,
Okay.
so you know I like it. The power of the pun. Do you think your book helps people to understand and appreciate language and the power of words?
Yes, I do. I think that it adds humor to words and learning about words. We all like to laugh, with everything going on, we all love to laugh. So I think the humor aspect of it will make you look at it. It's like, hey, you know what? Maybe I ought to investigate what this word means or, how it's really used. And, my intention was to, first of all, make people laugh with how I think, and secondly, if they can learn something like I did, what the word really means and how to use it properly in a sentence, we have great experiences by remembering the humorous part of something.
So if they could use that, something, I'm sorry, that I think young folks should have.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think it will help you to develop that love of words.
And of literature.
And I love words,
Let me remind our audience, for those of you who aren't familiar with puns, and I should probably let you do it since you're an expert at this, but puns is just a word play, right, where you take the true definition and you flip it on its head, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you're going to use the word a little differently, and so flip the meaning on its head. I'm going to offer an example. So this one, and by the way, this joker went through the thesaurus.
I know.
Yes.
Who has time? There's 920 words in this book, plus 500 names. We're going to talk about the names. The names are incredible. You're going to be cracking up. But the whole concept of the names is, you shouldn't name your kid this.
Right.
If your last name is this, don't name your kid that. So we're going to get to that. But a pun, I'm just going to give you an example, again, is a use of the word, but differently.
Yes.
And he's done 920 of them, lifted them from a thesaurus. So here's one example. I could open this book anywhere and you're going to be cracking up. So here's the first one that I opened. The word is keloids, right?
Okay.
The true definition is scars resulting from growth of fibrous tissue. True that. My definition, scratching Lloyd's vehicle. Why is he laughing? We got outside just in time because somebody tried to key Lloyd's truck. Stop it, please.
No. I have one for you.
Somebody tried to key Lloyd's truck.
Wait. I have one.
That's a pun.
Yeah.
I have one. Wait a minute.
You got one, T?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
You can literally open this book anywhere.
What was my word here? Okay. The word is occlude. The definition is to close up or to block off.
Okay.
This one's definition is he didn't know what was happening, so occlude him in on the process.
Like I clued him in.
I clued him in on the process.
Right. Yeah. And see,
Go
well, the
ahead.
thing about it is go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay, you know what? I just got a brain illumination.
Mm-hmm.
What if this were helpful for studying vocabulary?
It absolutely would be.
Do you think it will help
Yes.
you memorize the
Yes.
words and the actual
Yes,
definition by
absolutely.
using it in a weird way?
Yes. And I wish I
As
had
a
thought
pun.
about it.
You wish you would have thought.
Of course you do.
Me too.
Yeah, she's a big fan of words. Big fan of words.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the example of what a pun is, how he uses it in these sentences, and the kinds of things that you can do with a book like this. Did you have, when you wrote it, besides just making people laugh and passing time, did you have any particular intended outcome when you wrote it?
Well, just to get people to see how I think differently, because I've been doing this since close to, as far as I can remember, around 8 years old. And, of course, around family, and they'll say something, and I'll say something silly that includes the word, but use it like that. And I got my first laughs. So I'm like, hey, I like this. Everybody loves to get laughs,
Right.
Well, most people anyway. But yeah, everybody loves to get laughs. And, I was like, hey, this is my thing, without really seeing this future project. I just love to do it because I've always been the type that I love people having fun around me. Because
Yeah.
if they're not having fun around me, then I'm not having fun. And
Gotcha.
that's my
That's
vision.
the greatest gift. And you know what? I just had the most interesting thought pop into my head.
What's that?
You know
Uh-oh.
who? Well, no, it's a cool thing.
It's a good thought.
It's
Okay.
a cool thing. You know who probably utilizes puns a lot and we don't think about it?
Who?
Rappers.
Oh, I did think about it. And I actually was
Yeah.
going to ask you that. Like,
Yes.
have you considered? And here's the first one we were talking about earlier. I guess I can say Kendrick Lamar. Yeah. And
Oh.
in his song that I've just fallen in love with, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. I don't know why I like that, but I do. And in there, he says something about A minor.
She thought it was the key
The key.
of the song.
Of
A
that he was
minor.
talking about.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You did too.
I did. I did.
But
and I'm
it's
not
not.
musically inclined, but
Right.
Yeah.
He references in a phrase A minor. And I'm singing it, but it never occurred to me that he was not referencing it was not a musical reference. And that is a beautiful play on words.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Hmm.
Beautiful play on words. So yes, we see it a lot.
A lot, whole lot.
Yes,
Now,
yes, in the right.
this is where I got interested in what you've done here, is thinking about the evolution of language. How do
Hmm.
you see the role of etymology or the history of words in shaping wordplay over time? So for an example, we talk about the word bad. When I was coming up, you know, we were flipping the word bad on his head.
Right,
She bad,
Hmm.
right.
you know, not as
Good.
right,
Bad
but
man, good.
bad meant good. Or
Hmm.
nowadays, we'll say, you're welcome.
Hmm.
And we're not really meaning you're welcome.
Hmm.
Right. So,
Right, right.
so if we were to think about how what is the role of how have puns even evolved? Yeah, over time. What's your thoughts there?
Well, on that, I know it depends on how you use the word, because we all have the freedom to, first of all, use the word as it's intended. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But it opens up your creative mind to be
Right.
able to expand it, and that's what we all need. From kids to adults, we all need our minds expanded. So I think the future of puns will help expand that mind creation,
I love that.
because each word that I did, it made me want to write more. Because when I first looked in the thesaurus, it's like, hey, that word, and then it jumped out at me. Oh, wait a minute. So then when I did the first one, it's like, I wonder if I can do any more like that. So I want that creativity to be one of the reasons that puns are still around.
So I'd like to know how much trouble you got into in school.
As well, I was well. I'm sure you can tell.
Specifically
Yeah,
in English class.
yeah.
Well, actually, believe it or not, I since seventh grade, I got straight A's in English.
I was
Um,
going to say English teachers
Probably
yes,
loved him.
loved it. I'm sure.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm
As
sure
long as
they
I did
did.
what I was supposed to do with the way the English language is supposed to be intended, a little joke on the side, they didn't mind, because I mean, if I had got F's and then I had started, then it would have been something different, of
Right.
course.
Right.
So
Right.
they appreciated it, and the thing about it, if they didn't laugh then, I'm sure they probably after class, you know,
Yeah, they
you know,
went in the teachers' lounge.
Right.
yeah,
That
yeah,
doggone Tim
Yeah,
at it
did
again.
you hear what that
Did
Tim
you see
said
what Tim
when he
yeah, yeah.
wrote?
put on that paper? That boy know good and well. Yeah, I can hear
And
it now.
see if they got a better day out of that, then that fills my heart, and which is the main intention of it anyway. From when I was younger too. I mean, I saw people laughing around me, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Such a
We all
nice
get sad
man.
every once in a while, but then I mean, if I can make somebody laugh, or forget about the problems for at least 2 or 3 minutes, I feel it's worth it to me.
Wow, that's
It's amazing. He
inspiring.
actually wanted to make his teachers feel better.
A teacher.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So,
Everybody.
did
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have people who influenced this, or just your writing overall, your interest in writing and your interest in words, and was that influenced by anyone in particular?
Well, yes. Like, it started out with me doing that and really not realizing what I was doing in a way, because I've never heard of puns. I just knew I was doing it. Probably around 2006 or 2007, I heard this guy named Jeff Foxworthy. Have you heard of him?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That guy right there. Somebody had his book, and I was reading a couple of them, and he had a book called, what was it? It was a dictionary. I forgot the name of it. Complete Redneck
Well, I was going to
Dictionary.
say it had something to do with rednecks.
Something to do with
Yeah,
Yeah.
rednecks.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
love that guy.
he did pretty much what I did, but I mean, like I said, I didn't like copy his stuff, but I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
was inspirational. And it's like, hey, he wrote the book, why can't I? And all these are all original. I looked at each word and I listened to it. It's like, well, how can I use that in a sentence? And as you see the way it's laid out, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to put my definition and put how the sentence, so they can understand how I see the word. So But yeah, Jeff Foxworthy, his words and stuff like that influenced me further as I got older.
So, do you think that words impact and help shape the way that we view the world?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Words have always been around, and words can really be there to help someone or to hurt someone. Um, it depends on how you use them. I intend to use them to help someone, in my small way, because we have too many people that use words to hurt people. And, I don't like that at
Absolutely.
all. So,
Absolutely.
yes, words can shape the world if you use them correctly,
Mm-hmm.
even non words, or words that we've never heard of, we have yet to hear about. They can shape the world if used properly.
Yeah, it's so true. The power of words, right?
Yeah, the whole adage about sticks and stones. They
Hmm.
break my bones, but
Hmm.
words can be very, very hurtful or powerful or whatever.
All of
And
the
I try,
above.
yes, and I try my best not to offend anybody in that book. Some of the things in there is just real life, but I try not to offend anyone. So I hope I accomplished
He
that.
talking about he trying not to offend anybody. I'm about to open up.
Uh-oh.
Cause hold on, it's some names in here. I got a page.
I said I try my best now. I try my best.
He ain't worked that hard at it for some of these people. Okay, if your last name is Paid, don't name your son Bill. Okay, I just love these. These are my favorites. Okay,
And notice
and
the
that's
spelling of the
a
last name. Notice the last spelling.
Pade.
Yes, I didn't want to.
Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Right.
put PAID because I wanted to kind of make it different. Yes.
Okay, now this one is familiar. We all know the name Dorset.
Yes.
If your last name is Dorset, don't name your son E.C. Dorset. E.C.
Okay.
Dorset. E.C. I don't get that one.
I don't know if I
E-
get it either.
E.C.
Easy
Dorset. Easy
does.
does. Oh
Easy
my
does it.
God.
We talked about this. We talked about this.
How you
And you know how we missed that?
because of the accent.
The accent.
Mhm, exactly.
Yeah, the accent and the pace, which goes back to rappers and how they use words, right?
Right.
Because they change the pace of the word or the emphasis on certain syllables
Of the
and
word.
such of the word. Same word.
But you notice how we both kind of had to think about that for a minute? Because essentially, we have the same accent.
Yes.
Because we grew up in the same city,
Philly.
Mhm.
in the
And see, I'm
same
country.
region.
I'm
No,
country.
but what I'm
He a
saying
country
is,
boy.
I love me a country. I'm married to a cowboy, but that's a whole nother story.
I'm sure he'd say Dorset differently.
Yeah, well, you know,
It's
he's
easy sort of sad.
Dorset.
he probably would because he's got this really like Western
Yeah.
accent.
Mm-hmm.
But the point that I'm making is that's very interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
That it took, if somebody else was from here,
Yeah.
they would have been like, ha!
Right. They would have
Catch
gotten
up
it
and buy.
instantly.
Right. And we're just looking at each other like, what?
Like what?
Wait a minute, let me think about that.
Mm-hmm. That's that Philly accent.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Speaking
And
of,
see another thing is I think I should have put a subtext in there from twang to slang, if that makes sense. Because you have
yeah.
to have a little bit of it. And if you notice at the front of the book, I say to say some of the words slowly
yes,
because
I did see
sometimes
that.
yeah, and
But
sometimes
you
if I
did
say
say
it too
it
fast, I
slowly.
don't get it. Uh,
You did say
yeah,
it slowly.
But I
And
got the
that's
wrong
what
accent.
threw us off.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah,
I'm gonna give y'all another one.
Okay.
I'm gonna give y'all another one. Try to follow me, okay? Just work with me.
All right. Where are we going?
If your last name is Money, don't name your daughter Linda. Linda Money. You gonna be broke if you name your daughter Linda Money.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 'cause-
Absolutely.
Easy. Easy.
Absolutely.
I just love how creative this is. So I'm going to go back to the puns, and this is one that is really simple. The word is normalizer. True definition, one that makes things normal. My definition, as in Dr. Tim, a habitual fib teller. And in the sentence, he says, I know she's your friend, but normalize her butt off after about everything. But normalize her butt off about everything.
She lies her butt off.
Holy cow.
Norma does.
Norma.
And the funny thing is, he's cracking up.
He's
before
cracking
you
up.
even get
I know.
Well, see, the part of it, I'm cracking up because I'm wanting you all to get it, and it's like once you do, you're like, oh yeah, so
Yeah.
That is the reaction every time, like, oh yes. And that is why this book is a great gift. It's a great eye opener. I would give this book also, I thought about this, to take on vacation. Like when you're sitting around and everybody is just eating. And
like when we're going camping.
Yes.
/
It's
glamping.
Glamping?
That's what you do.
Glamping.
Why she talking about me in front of everybody, y'all? I do go camping, glamping.
She goes glamping.
Y'all see, I'm
all good.
more of a glamping kind of girl.
She goes glamping.
I do go glamping.
it's all good. Oh,
And I would take this book while we are sitting around with the RV when it's no bugs, because we've got nets and all that good stuff. That's what glampers do.
Yeah, that's what glampers
We ain't
do.
sitting outside in the open.
They stay in cabins that have television.
with mosquitoes and stuff. Yeah, we
And
stay in
Wi-Fi.
cabins with TVs and Wi-Fi and
Yeah.
satellite even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
glamping.
The
glamping.
thing about that too is, and opposed to reading a novel, you don't have to pick up where you left off. You don't have to say, now go back a couple of things, say, hey, well, okay, the moral of the story, or the rest of the story. You can just
Yes.
pick up and it's something new.
Yes, yes.
You know.
Every single time you pick this book
I
up.
agree.
Mhm.
I wonder how many, like, if I had 4 or 5 martinis.
This book would get funny as I don't know what.
Yeah.
So it's also a good party book then.
Yep.
It's a good book to have on the table, on the coffee table, or wherever you guys are partying, with some alcoholic beverages or some spirits, we'll call them
Yes.
spirits. And this book will absolutely open up the conversation in a
I
party.
agree. You know what? This would be cool to put it on cards.
Gift cards,
Yeah, no, I mean
like greeting cards.
Yeah, like
Oh,
cards.
there you go. Yes.
Okay, she done started a whole nother industry
I'm
for you,
saying.
Tim.
There you go.
Put 'em
Yeah.
on cards.
T-shirts? What about T-shirts?
Absolutely.
T-shirts.
Yeah, people will be quite confused on T-shirts.
Yeah, they might have to get too close.
To really figure out what we're saying.
Yeah, that might be a little dangerous.
That might be a little
About
danger. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this, Tim. One of the things that when I saw this, it quite honestly, it reminded me of the strength of our education. You probably grew up in the same era that I did, and it was important for us as a generation, stepping out of the civil rights movement and stepping into a time where it was just important for us to prove ourselves.
Absolutely.
Everything that we did, we wanted to be the best because we wanted the world to know he ain't so bad. And so we worked really hard at improving our vocabulary and speaking the King's English and embracing the language and assimilating. That is not so much the world we live in today. The kids aren't trying to assimilate. It's not as important. They make it their own now. And I love that.
I love it too.
Yes.
I love that.
Because I think maybe it speaks to the fact that to some degree perhaps we have. I don't want to use the word assimilate. I don't like that word. That they are more comfortable
I think they're more comfortable.
in where they are in their lives.
Yeah.
And in quote unquote society.
Yeah, so
that
they don't
can
have to
speak
become
the way
something
that
else.
They want to speak.
Yes. And
Yes.
that's my point.
That's the power of
Yes.
words.
Therein lies the rub. So here's where you come in.
Okay.
I am planning to share this with a few of the poets that I know, the spoken word poets and the young artists, because I think they need to be inspired to do even more with language. In
Yes.
other words, this language that we have called English, it has a power, but it can be flexible. We can
Exactly.
move it about. We can do things with it that have not been done before. And that's what I
Exactly.
like about what you did.
And I think we always
Thank
have
you.
done that.
Tell me more.
Well, I mean, just like, to use the word bad, which was one of our examples,
Yeah. Yeah,
that was not something that everyone did.
Right.
you're right,
We
Tina.
did.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
There are certain
That's true.
words that we imbibe certain meanings to.
Yeah, that's true. That
That
nobody
kind
else, they had to pick up on
Filter
it.
out.
Yeah. Okay, so that kind of brings me to the birth of new words.
Mm-hmm.
I make them up every day.
She does. It's so true.
Make 'em up every day.
If you have a conversation with Tina for 30 minutes, you're going to get a new word, baby.
Absolutely.
Something ain't nobody heard of. It's going to
But
be
it's a real word.
most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. Like zither.
Yeah, zither.
Somebody
just
out
gonna
there
look that
in
up
the
too.
ether, please Google zither and let me know if it's
It's a
real.
real thing.
What is zither?
It's a real thing. It's an instrument.
Spell it.
Now that you got me.
So to bring y'all up to speed,
been a
we were
while.
talking about before we came on air about this word zither, and I am not familiar with it, but that's not to be unexpected. I didn't break 1600 on the SAT.
I did not either.
I didn't even take it.
Okay,
Now that was the right way to do it.
he didn't take it.
Not take it.
How would you have gotten into FAMU if you didn't take the SAT? You had to take it.
I
This
would've figured-
destiny.
I'd have figured out something.
She probably would have. Back to my story.
No, I said
This-
I didn't take it.
Oh, you didn't take it.
I didn't take it. Not. I said I did not take it. I'm sorry.
How did you get away with avoiding the SAT?
Well, I never went to college.
Self-
See,
Self-taught.
that makes that even.
Yes.
That
yes.
makes
Cooler.
it even
Which
cooler
just goes to show you,
Yes.
you don't have
Yeah,
to go
that's
to
what
college.
I mean. Yes. Yeah.
because you put the pen to paper from picking up just a thesaurus.
Mm-hmm.
This man done put us all to shame.
Yeah, he did.
I love that. I love that
And not
story.
only that, actually wrote a book. How many people do we know that went to college?
920 words.
How many people do we know?
We know a lot of people.
Including
we know,
me.
Yes, who went.
Including
didn't
you,
write.
who have not written a book.
Yeah. Hats off to you, my friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you using
Thank
that
you so
big
much.
brain of yours.
Thank you. Well, like I said, it's God gives us all gifts. God gives each one of us gifts, and we got to use each one of our gifts as a collective to help others. And that's the main thing too. I mean, some people don't use their gifts to the fullest potential, and I'm sure I'm not, and no one is. But what gift He gives you, if you can use it to help somebody, because He's the only reason why I was able to do this.
Oh,
Amen.
Yeah.
and he's a spiritual man.
Amen.
He blessed me every day.
Good thing I'm married.
That's a good thing. I'm sure of it. I am sure it's a good thing. I'm going to ask a final question about the dumbing down of language today.
Okay.
I can't get away from it because in the world of social media, we know that, well, not just social media, but even how language is used today. I don't think we go to great lengths to go beyond the third grade or, we dumb down everything as if, I feel it's insulting at times, to be honest. When I see all of these, IDK means I don't know, right? That's the new little, or these other abbreviated ways of speaking. Call me old or whatever, but I'm
Well,
not
to be
comfortable
fair,
with it.
to be fair, I think that had more to do with the original technology, texting, that it took so long to text.
Yes.
Oh,
That,
just to
'cause see,
speed
I
things
used to
up.
have a razor before, like I had a razor.
Oh, a razor
the
phone.
I
Oh,
had
yeah.
a razor when everybody else
I
had
was-
like Blackberries.
she
and
got a
stuff.
razor?
Yeah, I got one of them too, but that's another thing. But what I'm saying is, I had this razor, and I remember people started to text, and I was literally going like A B F.
Oh, yeah.
Like it forced me. You know what I'm saying? To get into.
You got to tap in.
I had to get another
Oh.
phone. That was number one. But I think that maybe where we started with the little, but the
Abbreviations.
abbreviations have now worked themselves into the lexicon of our language.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have a problem
Yeah.
with.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. And the
And you have to tap
lexicon.
on.
Say again?
No, I was going to say you have to tap on the three different times to get to the letter C.
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah.
something. But
I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying, I think that was part of, and it's something that, and then you know what, to be fair, I mean, we're dealing with a generation of people who have never not had the ability to text.
That's so true.
That's true.
But I want them to know how to spell the word no, Know. Like I get texts from people with the word no.
N-O.
And I'm like, no, please, no, it can't be. And these are adults that went, through the King's English type of education. Now, I know education has changed. It has evolved just like everything. And in fact, they're about to disband the Department of Education. We should announce that. Oh, wow. What kind of product will come out of that scenario? But that's not this episode. But I do believe that when I am interacting with some folks of different generations in the workforce, for example, there are things that I have to restate and say differently because their vocabulary doesn't go very far. I have to be really mindful of how I'm describing things. They're not always following the conversation. So that's where I'm going with that. It's a little frustrating.
Perhaps it's just generational.
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you a little joke. This will crack you up. All right. So I kind of heard this earlier today. So, there's boomers, there's Gen Jones, which we are, by the way. Then there's Gen X and on and on and on and on and on. So this is the thing they said that we can do when we can take over the world. Those of us who are boomers, Gen Z,
Okay, I want to take.
We can write it in cursive.
Ooh!
Oh, yeah.
and put it in an envelope and mail it.
Yes.
You're making my side hurt.
Yeah.
And they'll never figure out what we're talking about.
And
I literally cracked my side laughing on that one.
Write it in cursive.
And speaking of which, go ahead. Go ahead, Tim. I hate to cut you off.
No. I was just going to say that one of the biggest mistakes that we have made as African Americans is to make it uncool to use proper English.
Yeah.
We still have to encourage that.
I think so.
I agree.
Along with, you can have both. You can have both worlds.
We code switch. We all can do that.
That's it. Code switching.
We code switch. But when we were growing up, we got corrected by everyone.
Yeah, and it's just not
neighbors,
cool to do that
everyone.
These days.
Which gets into a whole nother conversation about correcting folks.
Yeah.
But then, I try to be open. I mean, listen, I suspect that those that came before us said the same things about us.
Well, yeah.
On the cover of this book, this caught my attention because he had to write, "I will not have pun in class." I don't know how many times. But even the fact that you had to demonstrate that what you were doing was kind of unacceptable in language and in education. The cover indicates I was, not always the star of the show because of this approach that I took to language. But I would say to you that you should have been at the head of the class.
I agree.
Teaching us the power of the words.
Well, better late
than never, right?
Better late
so
than
I'm
never.
gonna wrap
Thank you
this
so
up
much.
with a big old thank you, Tim, for bringing this to our attention.
You
for
gonna do another volume?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking of different things every day. I need to start writing them down. But I do have 2 other books that I've written. That's my second of my 3. So who knows? I'm working on some things, but I haven't written them down yet. So I got to get more serious on it.
Well, you're going to be sure to let us know.
I sure will. I will
Okay.
definitely let you know. Thank you
Yes. And I will tell you, thank you again for all that you have done, all of the great, cool ways that you have taken us from, I don't know, a simple adjective to a hyperbole. And
letting us know what not to name our children.
oh God,
so much. Yes.
don't
I'm
name
sure.
them.
I'm sure there's some names in there that some people have named their child. So
Yes,
But,
but they
you
won't
know.
do it no more after they done read your book. They
You
will
never know.
repent
and get over them.
and atone. Thank you again, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
And listen, the next book, we would love to talk to you about it. We would love to interview you and hear more about what you've got coming forward.
Okay.
Great work. Great work. That's
Thank you
all.
all so much.
Great
Thank you
work,
all so
my
much.
friend.
All right.
Take
Yolanda
care.
and Tina. Thank you. God bless you all.
Same to you.
All right.